I'm joined in the studio with Rick Wedell, Managing Partner and Chief Investment Officer at RFG.
Hi,
Welcome.
Shannon. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a hugely exciting day here. We made a big announcement about our investment in Zocks coming into their Series B round alongside QED and Lightspeed. Absolutely incredible. We also announced that the CEO, co-founder of Zocks was joining our board, and alongside Jim Patrick, former group president at Envestnet, and an absolute just incredible professional with a long tenure in institutional investment management. What does this mean for RFG Investment Solutions, and why is this such a big deal?
Well, it's a huge deal. First, as you mentioned, Jim's just an incredible guy. So it's an honor to be able to work with him. He's incredibly talented. But one of the things that we've been really trying to do with the investment solutions platform at RFG is sort of broaden out scope, broaden out access, broaden out the types and availability of product that is available there, the types and availabilities of strategies that are available there, to more, expansively capture all of the different use cases that an advisor is sort of looking for, right? And to continue to be kind of that curated, well-designed, but one-stop shop that gives an advisor, when they're thinking about, someplace to partner with on asset management, the ability to say yes, this has the capability of meeting, not just some of my needs. It's not enough to meet the needs of, 90% of an advisor's book. It's not enough to meet the needs of 80% of an advisor's book. And it just has always shocked me how many platforms there are that are out there that sort of leave these gaping holes that are we'll solve this problem for you or most of your problems. We're still going to leave you with these big ones. And I think that Jim...
tax optimization.
Small account solution. I mean, you'd be
Right.
surprised, the number of people that are no, our account minimum's $100,000. Okay, well, that's
ridiculous.
Not actually all that helpful. So I think adding Jim and his experience at Envestnet and his experience with multiple managers and dealing with those managers and packaging that up and how to bring that to advisors is just going to be invaluable as we think about the evolution of the platform.
We talk a lot about how advisors in the industry, 60% of their time is spent on non-revenue generating activities, and the number one thief of time is investment management. We've been laser focused on this for 10 years, helping advisors build their business without compromise, drive organic growth to create enterprise value. And a key part of that equation is unlocking time by partnering with you and your team for outsourced investment management. Why is that so important now more than ever?
Well, I think, one, the reams of different investment options that are available to people that can solve particular needs just keeps expanding, right? So technology is making it easier. I think, products keep innovating, liquidity keeps innovating, whether you think about direct indexing, and now it's long-short direct indexing, and now it's, different buffered ETFs and all of these different products that are sort of coming into play. And so it becomes increasingly difficult for an advisor to be able to accurately meet the needs of all their clients without some help. Or it becomes an even larger time suck of an advisor's time. And so being able to partner up with a group, I think not only drives fantastic outcomes for the advisor in terms of, okay, I got a bunch of time back, but if done properly, it actually drives better outcomes for the end client as well, because, those advisors have better resources to be able to say okay, what should I be doing with this particular client situation in a way that, it's okay, I trust you, thought partner, what are we doing? And then we move on.
You have dedicated a tremendous amount of resources to building a concierge experience, a white glove experience. All the trading is centralized, tax optimization centralized. A lot of thought and intentionality goes into working with advisors to build their models, their custom portfolios where necessary, their restricted stock sleeves, and everything in between. Why is that a competitive advantage?
Well, I personally believe that if you think about the evolution of RFG's investment platform, we always started with customer service, right? Like, I think that there are a lot of investment management platforms that, they're like, oh, we're going to be smarter than everybody else, right? Or we're going to drive more alpha than everybody else, and this and that and the other. And it's all kind of somewhat impossible, right? Like it's somewhat silly in a way, right? And so what we've decided from the very, very beginning is no. Like, what can I do today as a chief investment officer to drive revenue growth in the practices that we are focused on serving, right? And if that means that, when we say we do trading, we don't mean we give you a software interface that says, do you want to rebalance this account? Okay, here's the positions that we're going to sell. Are these the positions that you want to sell? Yes, no. Okay, have you considered the tax impact? Yes, no. Do you want to submit this to the trade desk? And then it's like, yes, no. It's like, by the time you've gone through all of those steps, you might as well just have done the trade, right? Like, I want a trading system where it's like, this client needs $5,000, click send, and it's just done, right? And I think that, where we have started and where we will always hold as our sort of core value is like, what makes the advisor's life easier? What drives better results for them? Small account solutions, the ability to exclude assets in an account that we're managing, these types of things that it's not that it's easier for us per se, but it solves problems for the advisor, and that's the whole point.
Awesome. Well, it's very exciting to have Jim join our board. Just the world is opening up as it relates to RFG Investment Solutions, and given, I'm an old hedge fund girl at heart, nothing makes me happier. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security or engage in any specific trading strategy. Information here may be provided in part by third-party sources. These sources are generally deemed to be reliable. However, neither our guest nor RFG Advisory guarantee the accuracy of third-party sources. The views expressed here are those of our guest. They do not necessarily represent those of RFG Advisory, its employees, or its clients. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by RFG Advisory or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Securities offered by registered representatives of Private Client Services, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory, a registered investment advisor. Private Client Services and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place. RFG Advisory is an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of RFG by the Commission, nor does it indicate that RFG or any associated investment advisory representative has attained a particular level of skill or ability.